the Investing News Network, and here today with me is Felix Lee, President of PDAC. Thanks so much for being here today.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Great. So we are on day 2 of PDAC. The atmosphere is a little bit interesting considering the coronavirus concerns that are going around. I want to ask if you think it was the right move to hold the convention. Did you ever consider switching it to a different time?
I would be lying if I said that we didn't consider it. We definitely did consider it. Safety of our attendees, our staff, all the volunteers that make the convention happen is the priority. And so, in the lead up to the convention, and certainly with the news of coronavirus spreading, it was incumbent on us really to be very, very proactive in ensuring we took all precautionary measures, and so we almost essentially on a daily, if not hourly basis, we're monitoring WHO directives, Public Health Agency of Canada directives, and we also as well reached out directly to Toronto Public Health to consult with them and go over with them what we're doing at the convention, just to make sure that they were satisfied we were taking the right precautions. They were, and they also, up to this point, Toronto Public Health is classifying coronavirus here in Toronto as still a very low risk, and so the decision for us to proceed with the convention was made. But it is something that we still continue to monitor, even with the convention now underway. We do monitor the situation on a essentially daily basis, and if things do change considerably, we will make the call perhaps at that point in time.
Okay, great to know that you're taking those measures. Yeah. And a lot of people did end up making it out here. What's your sense of the mood, the sentiment? How is the attendance looking? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. I have to say, the Saturday, the night before the convention, myself and all of the PDAC staff we're really quite nervous. We had no idea, how the next day, the first day of the convention, Sunday, was really going to turn out. And I have to say, yesterday was quite surprising.
Okay.
We saw a lot of people here. The traffic, on the convention floor was actually quite high. Considering it was a Sunday.
Yeah.
So I am very, very pleasantly surprised. And this morning we continue to see attendees coming in. The registration lines are there. So I'm cautiously optimistic at this point that we're going to have a pretty decent turnout.
Okay, that's good. So as if that wasn't enough coronavirus things going on, yesterday we also had some protesters outside the convention center. Yes. I wondered if you could comment on that activity and maybe what it tells us about what the general public knows about the mining industry, what the mining industry should be doing to educate people.
Okay, yeah. So ultimately what the convention is about is bringing people together to voice different opinions, share ideas, and at PDAC we acknowledge that there are a lot of different opinions out there. And as long as people are willing to voice their opinions and share their ideas or share their thoughts in a peaceful manner, they're always welcome here at PDAC. So with respect to the protesters that we saw yesterday, certainly we acknowledge that they have concerns. Again, we are of course welcoming to various opinions and differences of opinions. But we just ask everyone that does come to the convention, officially or unofficially, that they do so in a peaceful manner. I did have the opportunity to watch the news a little yesterday and see what some of the protesters were saying. Certainly, some of the protesters were there in support of the Wet'suwet'en pipeline protests. Others were there really being critical of the mining industry, and just really by their comments it is clear to me that there is a ways to go in terms of educating the public with respect to the role of mining in our society, and certainly as the role of mining as we head into a low carbon economy, low carbon future. So we have a long ways to go still in terms of education.
Yeah, and is that something you think companies that are here should be focusing on more?
I think it's quite within the industry. It's quite agreed amongst everyone that we could be doing more to gain public support, educate the public on the role of our industry in society. I know speaking with our government as well that they also acknowledge that more needs to be done in terms of communicating the message. And certainly right now, as we consider electrifying the economy, moving towards sort of greener technologies, certainly with the mining industry kind of poised to be a very critical player in the future of our economies and society. That education needs to go along.
Okay, so those are two kind of major themes that we've seen. Is there anything else you've noticed coming to the fore? Any highlights for you at the convention?
Well, it's only the second day of the convention, and but yesterday and even today, I have a number of meetings lined up with our federal government, and most of those conversations will be around critical minerals, those minerals which are essential to the well-being of our society now and into the future. And so that really is right now, I think right at the forefront of what's happening at the convention here. So discussions around battery metals, lithium, vanadium, cobalt, graphite, as well as some of the other metals that are going to be necessary to make that transition to a low carbon economy. So metals such as copper. So that's I would say for me personally the last day and even today, that's really the focus.
Okay, so PDAC is often described as a bellwether for the mining space. Is there anything we can learn so far from this year?
Yeah, I'm not so sure about a positive bellwether. I've always seemed to note that when we have a very positive convention, we seem to have a bit of a post-convention depression, if you will. So take that for what you will. But yeah, in terms of the mood here, it's hard to gauge. It's hard to get a sense of the mood. But just going by the turnout, despite the coronavirus fears and everything, I'd have to say that everyone is actually coming to this convention quite optimistic, quite positive, and just not letting circumstances get them down. So I'm fingers crossed we're going to have a very good convention with a lot of positive mood coming in.
Fingers crossed. So just finishing up, I know the convention is a major highlight for PDAC, but you also pursue other activities and initiatives throughout the year. So I wondered if you could briefly go over what may be coming next in 2020.
Yeah. So most of the people that most of those that know PDAC will probably know us for our convention. But the 361 days of the year that are not the convention, PDAC is really very much engaged on advocacy issues. We are primarily an advocacy body, and so we spend a lot of our time engaging with government in Ottawa as well as with the provincial and territorial governments to, on behalf of our members, to push forward on those issues which impact our industry. So, our convention reflects that. So a lot of the programming at the convention covers areas such as capital markets, Indigenous participation and engagement in our industry, sustainable practices in exploration and mining, health and safety, diversity and inclusion, and then we also have a very strong program that addresses our human resource challenges.
Okay.
And so we have a very strong student and early career program here at the convention. So going forward, I would expect future conventions to have very much a similar tone.
Yeah.
And I would expect as well to see maybe a broadening of the topic matters on critical minerals.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. We'll leave it there. We'll let you get back to the convention. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much, Charlotte.
Thanks. And once again, I'm Charlotte McLeod with the Invest in East Network, and this is Felix Lee of PDAC.